Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Saturday. We are going to talk about spring. Spring is one of my favorite seasons. The two seasons that I absolutely love in Canada are spring and fall. I don't care much for summer because I've been in really hot Indian weather, for like 27 years of my life. So I am not really super fond of summer and winter. I love the snow, but besides that, it tends to get too cold, right? I think 12 years in Canada, the novelty of snow starts to wear on you. Good morning, Tara. Thanks for watching live. And uh, oh, I think it's Maria. Yeah. So we are going to talk about the spring season, right? And just before I get started, I'm hosting a spring reset. The link is in the bio for those on Facebook. You'll see the link in the comment section, and it is a whole foods cleanse. So it's going to be amazing. And all the foods that I'm going to discuss today, you'll get recipes for it, right? It's not a starvation cleanse. It's not like a khichdi cleanse or a juice cleanse or like don't eat anything cleanse. It's a cleanse where we eat food that nourishes our body. At the same time, the food is designed for the season. It's designed to release this excess kapha from the body, right? And it is a very gentle reset. I try to call it reset more than a cleanse, right? And it is customizable to you. So different people on different levels of the cleanse, I talk about it so you can easily customize it to yourself, right? It's not going to take too much of your time if you are planning to cook we are going to cook everything from scratch. If you enjoy cooking, this is going to be the one cleanse you don't want to miss because I have some amazing recipes, right? Now let's get started. So we are talking about the spring season, right? The spring season is known to be dominant in the kapha dosh energy, right? So in the body as well, naturally, because in the winter we start eating super heavy food. We're eating all the heavy, oily foods that will protect us against the cold, that will help us with insulation. But what happens when we hit spring is as the snow starts melting in our own body, this accumulated kapha, right? Which is more solid during the winter time because of the excess cold, it's all constricted. Now, because of the heat, it starts getting liquefied. And that is one of the reasons why you'll find yourself extremely phlegmy this time of the year. You'll find yourself that, you're constantly clearing your throat, or you have a runny nose, or you're getting a lot of spring allergies, right? So the best way to combat that is to eat a seasonal diet, right? And eating a seasonal diet is eating foods that are going to balance your body in the spring season. I can see quite a few people joining me on Facebook. If you're here live, just say a quick hi. If you watch this as a replay, you can just post a hashtag as replay. I'm gonna say a quick hi to Pravin and Asmita's here as well. We're talking about what to eat in the spring season, right? So one of my absolute favorite spices in the spring season is garlic, right? So if you are somebody who loves your spice, this is the time to spice it up, right? Garlic is fantastic because of its sharp qualities. It's going to cut through a lot of the phlegm. Cloves, black pepper, all the spicy, pungent chili peppers, all the spicy, pungent spices that you love, you can start using them in this season, and those are going to help clear the kapha from your system, right? So cinnamon again is extremely great for any phlegm. Turmeric is fantastic this season as well. So all the sharp pungent spices that we are going to talk about, whether it's garlic, whether it's ginger, whether it's black pepper, whether it's cinnamon, cloves, make sure you have those regularly in your diet, right? Okay, Susan is here. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. Carrie's here as well. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining this live. So make sure you're incorporating a lot of spices this season. My favorite this time is garlic. I absolutely love cinnamon as well. Cloves, because I'm a pitta as well. I can't handle it, right? My kapha pitta dominant nature, I cannot handle a lot of clothes. I have a sensitive system. I joke about turning white on the inside since I've been in Canada. So I can't handle as many spices I used to when I was back in India, right? But if you can handle them, most definitely add a lot of spices to your diet, right? Second thing that you should be eating this season, right? Second thing that you should be eating this season is bitter greens, right? Not just any greens, but greens that are bitter and that are sharp. So kale is bitter. You can definitely have that. Rapini, broccoli, everything from the brassica family, right? And yesterday I was talking about one of my favorite things I'm growing. A few, like these are varieties of Mizuna, which is a Japanese kind of green. So I have some here, and then I have the Mizuna Bene Haushi, which is the red and the green Mizuna, right? So it's still growing. I'll have it ready for me by the springtime. So spring is the season where start eating bitter greens, right? Mustard greens or even arugula. I can't get to pronounce that thing right ever. Your spring greens, the spring green mix that you can get in your grocery stores, you can eat that. Lettuce, unless it's bitter, it's not really going to cut it. Dandelion greens are fantastic. Chicory or endives are fantastic this season, right? So start incorporating a lot of bitter greens in your diet this time of the year, right? So that's the second one. The third one, we talked about fruits yesterday, right? What food we talked about, certain fruits that you shouldn't be eating this season. If you haven't watched that video, go back to my Facebook page or Instagram video and you can check that out. But heavy foods like, or heavy sweet grapes or oranges, we talked about not having bananas for this season. What you can do instead is have something like astringent as apples. Apples are fantastic in the spring season. You can have some berries as well, right? So those will be good fruits for you to have. You can have apricots, you can have pomegranates. Pomegranate is my favorite fruit. It is sweet, but at the same time, it's also slightly astringent, right? And because of this astringency, it is also something that is known to be a parasite cleanser. Like in Ayurveda, we talk about parasites, and always pomegranate is fantastic. Pomegranate is fantastic to build your blood, right? So again, I'm totally diverting from the topic of spring cleanse, but recently I had a client who was going through blood transfusions every month, right? And we put her on a diet of pomegranates. I did change her diet according to Ayurveda. And this time, when she went back for her testing, she did not have to go for a transfusion, right? So, this is the power of whole foods, right? For whole foods can be extremely important to support your health journey. And pomegranates are fantastic to build your blood and clean up your system. And they're not going to create too much sugar in your body, right? If you're going for pomegranate as a fruit, buy the whole fruit, peel it up, take care of, like, leave all the sides and the peels, and you can have the fruit with the seed in it, right? Somebody was asking me this question: should I throw the seeds out? No, you should eat the seeds. The seeds are anti-parasitic, work fantastic for the spring season, right? We've talked about some vegetables already. Radishes are another great thing. Just to add to it, so radishes, will grow like in the shortest span. So if you start growing your own radishes, that will be fantastic for the spring season. Now let's go to grains, right? So we talk about different kinds of grains. So the best thing for you to have, the best grains for you to have this season are millets, right? You can have a lot of millet. You can have quinoa, you can have amaranth, you can have buckwheat, right? So any grains that are slightly lighter, that are easier to digest. You can have rice. Try not to have basmati rice, have the short grain rice, right? Basmati is a long grain rice which is slightly heavier to digest. You can have oats as well, like dry oats are fine, right? Not too much cooked. Rye can be fine as well, right? Ragi is a variety of millet. It's called finger millet. Absolutely love it because of its iron content and its mineral content. It's perfectly fine. And barley, right? So barley, if you're not gluten intolerant, making like cooked barley. You can have barley as a porridge. And again, I'm having a few barley recipes in the cleanse that I'm hosting. So feel free to join it. So barley is going to be fantastic, right? So try to incorporate these foods, and we are incomplete without protein, right? I always talk about having protein at each meal, ideally in the springtime, because animal protein can be extremely heavy, including eggs, right? If you eat them, have them sparingly, right? Fish, if you eat it, have it sparingly. You can have white meat, but have it sparingly, but don't indulge in any red meat. Pork is absolutely off the charts, right? So, what can you really have when it comes to your protein? Try to go more plant based for protein in the spring season. So, spring season, some of your proteins could be derived from mung beans. Mung beans are my favorite. Just yesterday, I posted a recipe of mung bean soup on my Instagram. You can try that out. You can have miso, which is fermented soy. You can have pinto beans. You can have navy beans. You can have any of the dals, right? Dals are split lentils without the skin. So, tur dal, mung dal, you can have white beans, lima beans, chickpeas or garbanzo beans, lentils, aduki beans, bean sprouts, black eyed peas. So, any of these varieties you can definitely have in your diet this spring season. And having these foods is going to make you feel lighter in the body. It's not going to make you feel sluggish. It will make sure your body is well adapted to outside climate, right? So again, in Canada today we are still snowing. If you can look back from my window, it's not as warm. Like suddenly yesterday was a nice like day, we look like it's going to be spring, and suddenly we're back to the winter snow, right? But as the season, as the temperatures drop low, you will have to transition your diet, right? And bitter, again, those are some fantastic food. Bitter greens, if there's one food you want to incorporate, spices and bitter greens would be my pick, right? Yesterday we talked about avoiding a lot of dairy, right? So you can have buttermilk if you make it. Do not go for the store bought buttermilk. It's not super healthy. It doesn't have enough probiotics, right? You're better off taking probiotic pills. So if you make your own buttermilk, all you have to do is take some yogurt, especially try goat yogurt if you haven't. 1 tablespoon, mix it with some water, and you can have cumin, you can have black pepper, you can have different spices, you can blend it, and that becomes your buttermilk, right? Other things to favor, like oils, use the sunflower oil. Ghee, you can use it sparingly. You can use some mustard oil as well. Mustard is a nice sharp spice. Get rid of a lot of sweet things, right? So if you are somebody who's eating a lot of sugar, brown sugar, turbinado sugar, or even jaggery, it's ideal to cut a lot of it out this season, right? You can have honey as the sweetener, right? So if you're cooking something, you can definitely add honey. Raw honey is kapha balancing in nature, right? And raw unpasteurized honey is going to be your best friend this season if you're extremely phlegmy, right? So Rajashri, the buttermilk made with dahi from the market can be used, right? Again, if you make your own yogurt, it's going to be much better. But if you want to cut it short, you can definitely make buttermilk from the dahi in the market, right? Just use like 1 tablespoon of the dahi or curd or yogurt, and then add at least 1 glass of water to it. And you can add a little bit of ginger to it, or ginger powder. You can add a little bit of black pepper powder to it. You can add cumin powder to it. So when you add some spices, it's going to be better digested, right? So definitely you can do that. Any other questions that anybody has? Like, do you guys have any questions for the spring season? What to eat, what not to eat? No, I think everybody looks good. Okay. Yeah. So, again, I would love to invite you to the spring reset. I'm hosting a reset from 11th to 17th of April. I'll be in the group. It's going to be in a private Facebook community. If you are not on Facebook, you're just on Instagram, you're going to get all the materials emailed to you, right? So, that's something you're definitely going to get. So if you have any questions or regarding why is okay, I think I'm getting a call or I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So in the reset, you'll be delivered all the material, all the recipes, the reset manual, checklist of before and after symptoms, right? You really monitor your body, you really monitor your symptoms, and this will help you get in touch with your own body. And then we also have specific practices like yoga nidra that I'm going to record for you guys, right? Yoga nidra is something that lets go of impressions from a very deeper level. So we are cleaning the body, we are cleaning the emotional junk, we are cleaning everything that we put ourselves through in the past 2 years, right? Which is showing up on your body as well as your mind, right? So that's the goal of the reset. I already have about 17 lovely women signed up, right? There are a few more spots, and the early bird will end on 31st of March. So if you sign up before March 31st, you can get the cleanse for 121 Canadian or 97 USD. If you sign up after 31st, I think it's going to be 147 or 197. I'll have to check the price, but you're going to pay a much higher price. And there's also the spice book, right? Cooking with spices. Each individual spice and the recipes associated with it, you get at least 30, 35 recipes with each spice as a bonus if you sign up before March 31st, right? So thank you for watching. Thanks for sharing your time with me and being here Saturday morning. And I will see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. I'm working today in the clinic, so I start at 11:30. I'm working till about 4, which I absolutely love, right? I love my work, so I'm not complaining about Saturdays in the clinic. I love it. Thanks. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all tomorrow at 9. Bye for now.